loosen it off.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that nut is like a locking nut.
Yeah, it probably is.
Like it's a threaded, threaded.
Have we one of these? It's a bit big. I've lost my smaller one of these as well, which is annoying. Oh yeah. And this just gets crazy.
Well, that's part of the fun of making things at home, isn't it? It's not like we're shooting this in a dedicated movie studio where everyone gets to stay quiet on set or anything like that.
Well, judging by that, right, even slacking that off, oh, there is a bit of movement. Okay.
Maybe, I mean, we're talking, this is a 90 something guitar, I believe, like 94, 95, so it's quite old
in terms of stiff.
In terms of guitarness, really. Right.
Yeah, well, that's knocked it off to 1.5 millimeters. So that does work. It just seems you need to slack that off and move it, do it back up to keep it in place.
Yeah, I think it's like a locking system. Everything's locking.
Yeah. So okay, that was 2.4 to begin with, which we don't want. 1.5 is a standard one I go for, but actually a guitar like this should be able to go even lower because it's such a good quality neck. So let's see what happens when we do. This is where you find out that it's got no curve in it, and so that's about 1.2 millimeters.
Just for everyone at home, I bought this guitar a little while ago because I wanted to learn about tremolos. I spent so much time working on hardtails and messing around with setting them up and I've been so scared of these things that I didn't really know what to do with it. And a friend of mine asked me to look at his, and I was like, I got no idea where to start, dude. I don't want to take somebody else's part before I've faffed around with one of my own. So I bought this one to do exactly this with. And I lucked out in getting what back in the 90s was like probably 500 or 600 quid's worth of guitar for a couple of hundred quid off of eBay in the flamed deluxe top thing version of it. So it looks real pretty, and just played it up at the 12th loads, and it was quite nice but a bit high. And then the other day I played it at the first fret and played just some open chords on it and realised that I was making all the chords go sharp by just putting too much pressure on the strings. Admittedly, I'm probably quite a heavy-handed guitar player from playing Les Pauls a lot, but it just seemed that the action was really high and that it needed a good setup, and yet another good excuse to come and hang out at Sam's.
Yeah, and you can tell I don't know how these work and learning this as I go along.
Yeah, which is good for both of us.
What's interesting is setting that at about 1 millimeter is a bit
low,
a bit too much for up here. And now, if I was feeling adventurous and in the mood, I would say, well, that's about 1.2 mils, which is pretty low.
Look at the neck.
Yeah, that's going to change slightly. If we bring that down, that will lower everything down again. But with a neck as good as this, I'd be, well, if I was being insane, I would probably go for leveling those out. So, what the hell, you know, it's a wizard neck. It's accurate as, or you know, it's as sharp as you like. And
have we got any relief in the neck at the moment?
Tiny bit, but just not much.
Not much. It's about
should be enough. Yeah, it should be enough, about a millimeter. So the issue is we had these a bit high over the first fret, and we're going to have a good look at that. So what we need to do, I'm gonna go back up off this 1.2 to 1.5, just so we're not grinding you know, frets for a minute, and accept that without fret leveling we won't necessarily get
quite that low.
Yeah, it won't get quite that low. So.
And we are still, again, we're talking about a 20-year-old guitar with 20-year-old hardware and a 20-year-old neck. Right.
Okay, it's a little bit over 1.6. Precision, you see.
I like how precision those are at that end. Like, it's really, it's, for most of the part, when it comes to guitars, it seems more like luck rather than, or like, I don't know, the tolerances seem a lot broader, wider, whereas that kind of Allen key inside locking nut thing gives you this feeling of, well, yeah, you turn that half a turn and you get exactly what you're thinking of in terms of 0.1 or 0.2 of a millimetre.
So the other thing is, well, before I go any further on here, I'm going to set these little critters to halfway on there thing, because we're going to, when we restring, we're going to need them roughly about halfway.
So that we've got adjustment.
Yeah. And so it's actually often turns out to be less than, you know, it's never quite halfway for some reason. I always often find I have to release the things on there again and redo it, but right. Right, that. We'll play it at that. Playable.
Seems pretty clean.
Yep. Yeah. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to take these off.
Measure
those, then take them off. Measuring feeler gauge, flopping around in the bag full of stuff. So we'll measure the strings, write up what they are, and then see what we can do with it. If it's consistent all the way across, then it bodes well for just lowering this thing down. But if it isn't, then okay, what are we looking at? Imperial, not what I want. It doesn't really matter which you use actually.
As long as you know which numbers you're writing down.
Whichever you like, comfortable with. Okay, so just as a quick stab. That's
obviously, being in the UK, we use both, which is fun.
Yeah, but not being in the euro, we don't use.
Pounds and ounces and feet and inches.
What happened there? Isn't that happened since we last spoke?
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Brexit.
Yeah.
What happened?
What horrible term! I really hate the term.
What happened though? I mean, really.
Lots of people got angry with the wrong thing. I don't know.
Got angry about something and found the wrong outlet for it.
And we've got politicians that hate us and act like they do. They don't even pretend like they like us. It's like, and we still look after them and stuff. I don't understand politics. Like,
pay them lots of money.
Yeah, pay people money to hate you, right? And they're supposed to be doing things in our interest. And I guess that probably on some global level, maybe they are. Maybe they just think it's too complicated for us to understand, and that they know better. But I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Not this.
No, it's fine. Like,
no.
I know very little about politics and have a tendency to try not to. It's the one area of things.
Shut up.
Well, it's the one area of things where I will totally not try to piss people off, because I don't know enough. I don't know enough about it. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not sure that anyone can unless you are working in it. Like, we only get what we're told. Like, so you have to kind of read between the lines and.
Okay, well, I can tell you, this is annoying now, I can tell you, right, that mostly, let's just map it. So we're going top E, what was it, 0.5, 0.5, the G was, I think, 0.6, no, G was 0.5. Never get it right. Okay, 0.5. I think the G is slightly higher. 0.5. G is slightly higher. It's 0.5. Slightly less than 0.5. Just 1.5. So G is a fraction. I'm not going to write it down, but of all of these, the G is a tiny bit higher than everything else. And we're only just about making this one play, despite what it looks like from here. So, oh no, hang on, yeah. So first thing is, they're all about 0.5 except the G is about 0.6.
Right. So
which is higher than I would
go.
It's about twice as high as I can go actually.
Yeah.
So
just looking at it when you see that there's so much movement there over the first fret.
So I guess what the first thing is if it were if they're all exactly the same, which they nearly are, then you could say to yourself, right, since they're all roughly 0.5,
Yeah.
you take down 0.2
Yeah.
off the underside, a small amount of shaving, whichever way is the best way to do it, right? So then you can kind of do that micrometer measure thing, and we go back on. But they're not exactly the same. The question is, can we live with the tiny variance with the G? If we take the G down anyway, along with everything else, it'll see. You know, what I don't want to end up doing is cutting one of these, particularly with a
Tremolo or something.
a nut file,
Oh, yeah.
which is what I'd use. But I don't know if it'd be toughened or just regular. But I guess the first thing we need to do is let's get our block for whenever we take this off.
Yeah.
And
You got an
said-
AA battery?
I don't have one knocking around, but I've got that thing.
Oh, a wedge. That'll do a similar thing.
Yeah.
Well, I just found like an AA battery just drops in behind it and sits there quite happy.
Is that alright? Is that comfy? Yeah. It sort of sits right on the edge. I think that's okay, isn't it? Right, that's changed the action here, so we already know what our measurements are. So, oh, no, hang on.
You should have this one here.
Yeah, hang on a sec. What I'm going to... Let me just go back one step. Let's take that out. Let's let it hang. All we have to do is slack these off. Nothing bad's going to happen. We'll take them off. So we're taking off our locking doofers. And right now, I'm just looking about the construction of this. Now I know Malcolm, my mate, did an adjustment on his Ibanez, and he actually filed that down a little bit. Now we've got an attachment coming from the back if we want to take this off and do it, so we'll undo it from the back. I'm just looking close up at this and just make sure it's all in order. I'm wondering if the difference between these two is enough to worry about, whether we just take care of it in one go. Just about plays.
Do you reckon it's worth checking the same thing on the second fret? Because then it'll tell us if it's the fret or if it's the...
It's unlikely you'd have that big a difference, but yeah, good. So they're all just about playing, and then you've got a bit of clear space there on the G. It's tiny. I think its truth is it's... I mean, we're talking mine here. We're talking tenths of a millimetre.
Tenth of a millimetre, which is...
Let's not get too high up. And it's depends on how you rock this. And what I'm interested in is I get it play, and then is there much gap?
Yeah.
Barely. Get it play, barely. They're about the same. Get it play, a little bit more gap than the others, but barely plays. So it's really between those two. I can see, in terms of just looking at the gap, the reflection, I can see that actually the gap between that one and that one is just slightly different, but I don't think it's enough to worry about. But we do know it's 0.5 and it's making some intonation problems. That's the whole reason we're looking at this, right? So what I'm going to suggest now is that we know what we're facing. We need to lose, for a guitar like this, we need to lose either 0.2 or 0.3. Let's say 0.25, right, of that height.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've supported the tremolo at the back, so it's not going to drop down and damage anything. We support it with a wooden block, soft wooden block. We can now slack these off and take them off. So these are our strings. We could keep the strings attached at this end for the time being. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, do a different one. We could keep the strings attached at the other end for the time being, because actually we can leave them on like that. Because we might want to just put them straight back on and check how this sits.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for going through the hassle of taking them right off and rethreading them. We just drag them off sideways. We don't care if they get a bit damaged in the process.
Well, I put those extra bonus wines in so that you can keep them.
Thank you. Right, so the trem block now sits back on the wood now at this point. Then we're going to flip it over, and
I don't know what size.
I imagine it's the same as the thingy on the front, but
Yeah.
on its side,
Bigger.
or smaller, even.
Smaller?
Yeah, I got the smaller one here,
Oh.
I believe. Oh, maybe I haven't. Yep. Just get it all the way in first. Yeah, it's not done up very tightly either, so that's quite cool. There's no big force needed.
Yeah, it's just to hold it, I guess,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Okay. Try to just keep this on its side.
Do you hold the guitar?
Yeah, okay. I'll still end up dropping it probably. Okay,
Gives you one less thing to think about. Huh?
yeah, off it comes. There's two little plates that came off with it, two little metal plates, so kind of shims. I'll have to work out which way around they went because I didn't see before they dropped off. Brilliant. Okay, let's put this back on its
Front, side, back.
yeah.
Ah, so it's shimmed anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, that came out from that side. That's
Well,
true.
they pretty much got to be that way. Or,
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the thickness of them, shall we?
Where's your feeler?
Because that could be the solution. Velcro, of course.
Yeah.
That could be the solution.
Yeah. But they might just be.
I wonder if they're necessary. That's my worry. Or whether they are actually a deliberate shim for a player. Oh crap! The battery's really gone.
What's this battery
Okay.
up here?
Yeah, some up there. Do they fit?
1616.
Yeah, that'll do. That size?
No.
Bollocks. There's some small ones knocking around somewhere. Yeah. Okay, hunt for the small batteries. There's like a pack of 3 flopping about in some similar kind of pointless different place. And you wouldn't expect to find it. Oh, balls. Losing that at this point. Ah, here we go. Here we go.
Ah.
Yes.
No! They're the same 1616.
Jesus.
But would you have kept others in a similar kind of location?
Right, breathe on it, please. Come on, just enough. I'm sure I bought a whole set and said, "Oh, I'll definitely need these." See, it's like a USB attachment here. I can't quite believe it. Is that true? Can't possibly. Is that a USB attachment?
Nah.
Well, why would it be?
No, it's just.
It's got contacts.
It's just. Oh, that tiny thing in there? Nah.
It'd be funny if it was.
Usually they have the way to lock the. That's like a screw. There's a little plate that normally fits on there.
Yeah,
and the
but
screws
there's
in there
there's some
stop you taking the
contacts.
thing off. Yeah.
Anyway, this damn thing will not
Maybe so you can download Zelda onto it or something like that.
play it on your.
What are these?
There's the ones. I knew I wasn't so
They were
stupid.
just above where you were looking before.
Put it in the bin. Well, look, I buy so many bits and pieces, Mark.
Yeah.
You can't hold me
You need to
responsible.
label your shed, the walls of your
Write something like,
batteries.
but yeah, for, whatever it's for. What's this called? Vernier calipers,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Brilliant. Woohoo! Back to life. Go on. Yeah, well, look, I can read it. It's flashing. What does that mean? Right, stop flashing. No, it's now flashing again. Can we stay on, please? Would you please stay on? Right, it's on. 40 millimeters. Zero it. It's lost its mind.
Is the battery contact good? That looks like
What
a.
lives in there? Oh, don't break on me.
Just take it out. Take out the battery again.
Here.
It looks like a contact related annoyance.
Could be a crap, just overall crap battery. Let's have a poke. Sorry about this little video delay. Let's have a poking thing.
Just pull up the contacts a little bit.
A blade.
Does it come up the
Put
middle?
a cutting blade thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pull that middle bit up a little bit if I can.
Yeah.
Separate it out. Hold one bit, pull one bit. Desperate times require desperate measures. bouncy, bouncy. Yeah, it just needs that.
It's like it needs to just sit in better and be.
Right, now it's going to come on and stay on. Ha ha ha! God.
So what?
Right, let's just try a little experiment. Press down. Nothing. On. Press down. Press down, hold down.
Is it?
Okay, press down, hold down.
Where's the wheel that it checks on the thing with?
And holding it down very firmly seems to make it work. So while we've got it going, hold that. I'm damned if I'm going to miss this. Right, we're going to open that up. You're going to put that in there. I'm going to shove. Shove. 0.3. That's what we want to take off.
Yeah.
Job done. You can go and die. Sorry. 0.3, wasn't it? And we said we're on no, we said 0.25.
Yeah.
It's a bit much.
So that's 0.34.
So let me just get this right. Okay, so taking that away is a bit too much of a removal. Now the question I want to know is, did it absolutely require that metal shim? I don't think it does. Right? That sits comfortably against the wood. Yeah. Right? This can only be...
All that's doing is
raising it. Okay, and it's done like that. No, how's it done? It's done like that. So it shims to the edge. It's nicely made. Right, that shims, I don't quite know how it does it.
From one edge to the other, and the gap's probably so you can put the screw through, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? Some such, or one way round. I don't quite know how it is. Well, anyway, whichever way it went round, it's not exactly precision cut. So somebody's cut that out from something.
Yeah, I think on either side, probably.
Okay. Whichever way.
Yeah, that gives you access to the screw.
Okay, so we've that's 0.3. We've taken it away, and that takes us down to 0.2, which is really low. Well, simplest way to do it. Let's try it. All right. And if 0.2 feels horrible, because I have loads of guitars that I do at 0.2, so it shouldn't be a problem. And that's the simplest way of putting it right. And if I put it around the right way, that might help. You fix that nicely for me now. Maybe try another battery, see if that was just a one-off. It's a bit wishful thinking, I know. But
Well, no, I think it is the battery contact. So if you take the little lid off, the little lid, look. Now without the lid off.
Oh right, so there's not enough pressure.
There's just not enough pressure on the battery and it's losing its connection all the time.
Okay.
What you need is a shim.
Yeah, you can shove anything in there, I don't care.
You got a couple of spare ones from that guitar there, right?
Yeah, a little bit of brassy things.
I don't know if we could put that on top of the battery.
You have to cut a circle out.
Yeah.
You want a washer. That's what you want from the Department of Washers. Okay, I'm just shoving all the strings back in line for a minute, and I lost a string somewhere. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in around the back. Oh, I've got to get the right order of strings, that would help. I'm going to go around the back. Oh, you've just lost. I've got loads of spare batteries.
It wasn't the battery. I had a little spring. That I found.
That's a cow, by the way.
That's a cow?
Yeah. Okay, so let me put these little fellas in. That was convenient. So somebody shimmed, or maybe Ibanez or somebody, maybe a previous owner shimmed this deliberately because they prefer a higher action at the nut, or the first fret. Just do that up, finger tight. Well, not finger tight, but not hugely over tightened.
Vernier gauge working again.
Fabulous. Okay, so we've shed 0.3, and I'm gonna just put all these back under normal tuning tension. Obviously, we're not kind of going into play it yet because we want to change strings as well. But
On the back in a moment.
Meanwhile, I'll do something terrible to the guitar. Okay, that's interesting to find a little shim under there. In my experience, it's unusual to find an action that high, so I guess it's a personal preference that somebody's done there. I've normally found these Ibanez fixed locking nuts to be very uniform and low, so that's interesting. And these are definitely being cut by somebody. They're not factory manufactured shims. Well, they may be, but they're a little off shape. Right, let's get a tone. This isn't the right way to do this, by the way. I'm going to work off a guitar. Okay, so we have this thing playing, well, not playing yet. To keep doing this until it's ready. Now I can hear a little bit of buzz there, but it's lying on its back. Okay, don't worry about the tuning afterwards, but ridiculously low action by comparison, so that feels pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna, it's not perfectly in tune still because we need to keep on tensioning it out, balancing it out, but it's very close, so I'm going to stop a minute until Mark comes back and then we'll see what he feels about the playing action on this thing. Okay, what do you think then?
Yeah.
Go with that?
Cup of tea for the workers.
Oh, fango. Just one.
Yeah, Mark.
One,
Yeah,
two, two.
right for a minute. Yeah, we got to share.
Times are hard.
Right.
Yeah, we just transformed the old playing action of that thing. It was interesting. We had this theory that that was an unusually high action. Took that off and found those underneath. So somebody put them under deliberately to raise the action of the first fret. Personal preference and all that, but you know, for Mark it was going out of tune.
Better now?
Yeah, seems it.
But the interesting bit is that we were looking to remove 0.3 of a millimetre of
And there it
height,
was.
and there it was. But we had to fight to get the micro gauge to work. It's got a little chip there, you know that.
Yeah,
It needs a little bit of lacquer, doesn't it?
that's where somebody dropped it for me, which is kind of them. Wasn't even me. But yeah. Yeah, that plays much nicer than it did. Like,
Perfect.
well done.
Probably good. Right, let's
All
get some
these
new...
little fixes. That's much better than that Epiphone that we worked on with that needed all the refretting and everything.
Yeah.
That was a day-long job.
Right, so let's put the block under this again. And let's get the new strings out.
No strings. I left them indoors.
Boink. Now I can keep this set as spares. I'm going to put Strat on it and call it spare. Some sacrificial. There goes Morris. He's out there on the hedge, on the fence, sitting on the fence. So this is, well, when you do a Floyd Rose, you do need a reference guitar to do the tuning, to balance the tuning up. You won't get it by doing relative tuning with harmonics or anything like that. You've got to be able to just keep going back to a set of reference notes. Just saying, Mark, when you do a Floyd Rose, you have to have a set of reference notes like another guitar.
Yeah.
You can't use a relative, you know,
Oh, you can't tune it relative
No.
to itself, yeah.
because you'll just be there forever not getting it right.
Yeah.
And you just
Couple of cents out. Nice couple of cents out. Nice couple of cents out. Still a
until
couple
it
of
snap.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll just so have a properly tuned guitar nearby, and eventually it will stabilise, and then you can lock it down.
Years ago, when I was first learning how to tune guitars, I had a chromatic tuner.
Yeah.
That meant you had to switch between what string you were doing instead of like these days you get automatic tuners.
Yeah.
And I started tuning guitar, and I was pretty new at it. And yeah, just kept tuning and tuning. It turns out I was tuning the. I think it was tuning
Top
the
E.
B, yeah, the B string to D or something like that, and it just was like, no, it's not getting there. It's not getting. Ting! Oh
Yeah.
God! And,
Took your eye out.
yeah.
Yeah, I've done that even recently. I've done that with. I'll do a guitar like this, and I'll put on the G, right, and I'll put on the B, and I'll accidentally go back to the G.
Yeah.
And I'll keep toning the G.
It's not getting any harder.
Bang!
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah,
It's gone.
done that too.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like such a fool, doesn't it?
Especially when you do it on video. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that your videos are honest.
Yeah. Thankfully. Okay, so beautiful. We've got all of these. I'm going to keep these strings as a spare.
Yeah.
I have precious.
Few.
Hang on, will I keep them? Because have you got the ball at the back, or are these?
No, they don't have balls.
Oh. How the hell do you get them out of
They're
here?
ballless. The little Allen key
Okay,
that's there.
Thank you. Yeah.
That moves up and down that little tiny, and that's what I kept this out for, because I had a feeling that might be the right size.
This
for
is
it.
a little bit rounded. I'm nervous
that's it.
about that.
Have a look, see if it fits. But there are a stack of Allen keys
doesn't.
here.
Doesn't fit. Bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia. No, but, I suppose I've probably already got the one that fits out.
You
In
might
fact,
have.
it might even be this.
If not, there's
No.
that one.
Bloody hell, I've got everyone in the book out now. No.
Oh, really? Is it tiny?
It's probably the same as the one on the tuning head. No. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, they give you a set of Allen keys when you buy these new.
Wait a minute. Let's get this right, because this is frazzling my noodle. I'm going the wrong place. I'm shoving it in there. Maybe.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it's in there then.
Damnation. No. Right, that fits. Yeah. Clunk.
Yeah, they're like little
Okay,
vices.
so no point keeping these strings.
Not unless you need something to poke something with.
Oh, I'm in the wrong place altogether. Let's start off again. Right. It's just new and unfamiliar, I swear, honestly. So we snap off the, chop off the old balls.
Yeah.
Lovely. Or as my friend Mike does, he has the balls dangling off this end.
Yeah, I'd heard about that.
If you like that sort of thing.
It seems a little odd. But yeah, I suppose you can just string it back to front, can't you?
Yeah, just say if you don't happen to have a pair of pliers knocking about. But
if you didn't happen to have a pair of pliers knocking about in here,
yeah,
I would think something very strange was going on. I've walked into an alternate universe.
Now, I tell you what, I'm so glad I took my guitar on holiday. It was I was humming and hawing about it for a while.
Yeah.
And then there was a point at which Claire was saying she liked the
mental image.
Yeah, no, she liked the that new or the old archtop.
Yeah.
So much, she loved the sound of that. She said, "Oh, I can just see that on the beach. I can hear it on the beach. And why don't you take that?" And we even looked at what it would cost to take it. It was another couple hundred quid. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
I know. And then I said, but, I can't justify it. So took the neck off the other one, but it felt a bit,
yeah, it's like you could change a couple of I don't need those pairs of shorts or that shirt. And I can just put that guitar in there instead.
Yeah, and actually it doesn't weigh that much. Funny enough, even though it's a lump of oak, it's only about, it's not much more than 4 or 5 pounds in total, if that. And so it was, it was great to put a new set of strings on.
Did they, when you put it through the
nobody said
conveyor
anything.
belt thing, so what's that lump in there? And
There was no.
it looks like you took a rifle apart.
Yeah,
and put it in
honestly,
the
there
bag.
was no query about it at all. It was really weird. I mean, I don't know if they actually would know what it was just to look at it. I mean, it's a bit
If it even
non-standard.
matters, yeah. I mean, it kind of pulls out metals, isn't it, more than anything? The X-ray.
Well, enough
I guess.
bits of metal tied up in there.
Yeah. Maybe it probably looked like a guitar then. Like,
Possibly. But, yeah, I mean, maybe they saw the frets on the neck and it made complete sense.
Made sense, yeah.
But just checking these, because often these come loose over time.
Because they don't get used all the same way.
Yeah. That's alright. It seems they are a bit pointless, aren't they? I mean, in a certain way.
Yeah. They're there to just tighten up the strings the first time.
Yeah, that one time. Yeah, so it was just great. I mean, Claire was going, "Oh, I'm going to play it, sit in the bar and play it, or whatever."
Yeah.
I didn't fancy it because I'm not very confident playing in public or anything. I mean, I don't mind playing in a band, but
there's difference, isn't it? Because you're part of something, whereas
sitting on your own,
you share the responsibility of the entertainment for people amongst four people or whatever. But doing it on your own, you've got to do like rhythm, lead, and maybe words, and that's like that's a whole different world.
Exactly. So I just we're looking at brass and red, right? Yeah, I was just so I ended up just kind of sitting on a when it was a quiet gap in the afternoon, I'd take it out and sit on the near the sea and just noodle and put the headphones in, and most of the time hardly anybody even passed by, let alone cast an eye, raised an eye at it. But it was so nice to be able to sit and play your own homemade guitar on site. Sorry, I'm just shooting those things.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Carelessly.
They look pretty cool. I quite like those little ball ends on things.
So this just goes only in as far as you can just poke it.
Yeah.
And a bit of a
you do
squeeze
that up.
down.
And it doesn't need to be cranked up tight because it's on an angle.
Finger tight.
Yeah.
And let's get them all in. So we're in pairs next to each other, aren't we? This set.
Yeah, brass and red, and black and green. Yeah, and then purple and silver.
Yeah, so I think the batteries on the G black and green next to it, or green and black. Which one? Black and green. The batteries on the G3. I took the Zoom GX3 or whatever it is. A bit excessive. We've got a pedal and everything, which I obviously didn't use. But it was the nearest thing to a headphone amp that I have.
Right.
And it ran on 4 AAs for, I guess it must have been the best part of a week or a week and a half. I only changed them once.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And having all that sort of massive sound coming out of your ears on the beach that nobody else can hear. So and I played the Stars Shining, you know, on a beautifully sort of southern Pacific or the Indian Ocean black night with twinkly foreign looking stars.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and sat there and played one night and just couldn't believe this kind of huge sound that I was getting. And it was all in my head, man. Nobody else could
Just
hear
end
it.
up playing Pink Floyd.
It was a bit of that, yeah. it got very Dave Gilmour-ish at that point.
Spacey. Does that thing do drums or anything? Like,
Yeah. I even sat there playing with the drums on as
Yeah.
well. It's like, you know, all the old classic rock and roll tracks with a straight sort of
just a 4/4 drum beat.
Yeah.
Right.
Such
Just
fun.
something to rhythm to play to. Right.
But you know, to have it all there with such a little footprint in your suitcase.
Yeah.
So cool.
I think there's got to be other things like that. I don't know. I've got
Well, the secret for that guitar is build a really good quality headphone amp into it. If only I had a dependable unit that I could put into those little travel guitars, it would just. I mean, a modern one that.
Yeah, you can get them. Little tiny amplifiers.
I mean, but if you have you. Oh god, this has wedged itself in the side now. Brilliant. It's no good. Well, I'm presuming it's going to stay in place, but I don't like it being wedged in there. We'll find out if it comes pinging out.
I'll have a little look
Yeah,
around.
I mean, if there was a little unit that would just drop in to a cavity, I'd love that.
Well, the ones that immediately spring to mind are those cigarette packet amps.
What?
Right.
I haven't seen those.
They used to be not all the rage, but they were all around the place. Like little tiny pocket amplifiers, little tiny speaker on the front of it, and they kind of sound a bit crappy, but they sound pretty good if you plug it out of that into an amp as like a pre-distortion kind
Well,
of
what I
thing.
really want is just a headphone
Yeah.
thing. I don't want to play.
I
Try.
don't want it to come out loud.
No, you're not really trying to play live or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got all our doofers sort of on half mast. And we'll just go ahead and tune up as best we can. First of all,
Just remember to put them under the bar. I think I did that the first time I strung it up, or the only time I strung it up. I just
Missed
got them
one.
on. I was like,
on the
hang
outside
on.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, when I took the guitar, I thought in my mind, because I've taken it away before on business, and I've taken it as one unit, you know, all intact, and taking it in 2 parts and then putting it together. I'd never had that sort of my own experience of just putting it together and playing it and go, right, I'm here, put it together, let's get and play. And
Did it take you very long?
no, it's just straightforward. It was really, because the setup's really great anyway, it just drops straight back into play, you know. And that's the one in the house is a carved neck pocket.
Yeah.
So even that was still great. A routed one is even better. You know, it just goes straight back into where it should be, and you've got a really great, easy to play action. So it's, you know, it was nice to have that experience to say, well, I've actually tested the product, you know, rather than just think about it and say, oh, I'm sure it'd be a good travel guitar. It was so cool. Well, that sort of made me come back with a bit of a renewed passion for making some more.
Yeah.
Plus the fact, honestly, you know, carving wood and adding, you know, putting nice bits on it. You can't do too many nicer things than that, really.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm kicking off with the usual way I do these things, which is 1 turn over the loose string, 1 turn under. It's a bit more fiddly because of the locking nut and that, but it kind of does the same thing. And maybe you shouldn't pull it all the way through. I've made a mess, haven't I? And then once this is where the thing of stretching strings becomes incredibly important now. You know, if you try and if you try and tighten up all your strings and tune them all up before you've got the slack out of them on a
hardtail.
Yeah, no, on a Floyd Rose like this, you will be forever undoing these, doing those, undoing those.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Whilst you play all of the slack out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And so you really have to get all of that out before you even attempt to do the micro, before you lock it down.
Yeah.
And before you have to get it all out before you, and this is the difficult bit to go over here, you have to hold it up here.
Yeah.
So you need to get all the slack out before you even achieve tuning, and then once you've got tuning, reference tuning, and balance the trem, then lock it down, then you can do the micro tuning as the very, very last thing. But if you don't get the slack out before that, you'll just be cranking these things off and on forever, and it really is disheartening because you think something's wrong and you'll never get there. And
why can't I tune my guitar?
Yeah. Yeah, or then that's the point where you start to think that it's some sort of mysterious thing, and then you go on the forums and everyone tells you it's black magic, and then you believe everything you read, and then you actually you avoid buying a guitar with a Floyd Rose.
Yeah.
You know, and you never get to experience how incredibly stable a device it is. I mean, you know, a guitar that never goes out of tune.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that? But people choose not to have them because.
Well, they've gone to such lengths now to make the automated robot tuners.
Yeah.
And it's like they kind of, instead of fixing the problem of guitars going out of tune, they made it so that guitars now tune themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, I suppose it's one way of dealing with it.
I haven't had a play or anything of one of those yet. The only dealings I had with it is somebody asking me would I remove them.
Wow, I would totally love to have a go on one.
Yeah, me too.
Not so much just for the tuning. I don't really mind tuning guitars, doesn't bother me.
No.
It's the ability to get it to remember other tunings.
Oh, that's a bit sophisticated.
That's like, you know, I like playing in open D and open G.
I thought of it just going there.
Being able to just kind of go, boop, push a button and it switches the tunes to open G and like detunes and tunes up the strings. Like, amazing. Yeah. And the other thing that gets
I just think it looks so ugly though on the back of the headstock.
But only you see the back of the headlock.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay all the money for it.
But what gets me is the amount of torque that the little motors must have. There must be one motor and a bunch of cogs or something. I don't know.
No, I think each one must be separate because they are all separate units. Well, no, they live in. No, they come out of a single box, don't they?
And they still have tuners.
It's like legendary. No, it's one. No, they've 7 legs.
6 little goblins that live inside there.
Ezekiel said. I saw a great video the other day about. I'm going to lose some friends now. About the Ark encounter in the US.
Right.
Have you ever watched any secular type of? I follow a few secular.
Right.
Podcasters and things, you know, in the atheist community, and free thought community, and a bunch of them went and sort of gate crashed-ish the Ark encounter. Have you ever heard of the Ark encounter?
No.
This creationist called Ken Ham, I think it is, has built a.
Oh, he's built a life-size Ark.
Well, it's just a ridiculously massive red herring Ark. And, and he's got 40 pairs of stuffed animals in it, right? And not even, so it doesn't really prove anything because they're not live and there's no waste and there's no food and nothing. Anyway, so these guys went along and kind of filmed and commentated on the opening, and apparently it was a real letdown. No surprise really, but it's just
when you take metaphorical stories and turn them into real life.
It's just incredible. It's incredible, this thing, but paid for by loads of government dollars, tax.
Really?
Yeah, lots of tax breaks. It's on a par with Scientology in some ways.
Yeah.
But there we go.
We're currently enjoying episodes of The Mentalist from a few years back, and there's a.
What was that?
About a guy called Patrick Jane who his wife and child were killed by a serial killer. And because he's a mentalist, so he was a fake psychic and used his powers for making.
You tell me stories while I bend strings. Yeah.
And he lost his. He took the piss out of this serial killer live on TV, and so to get revenge, the serial killer killed his wife and child.
Who's it got?
What famous people in it?
Oh, is it? Yeah.
No one really that I could think of. The only person that I knew that took me a little while to get was the main female lead was in Empire Records a long time ago. And it was like the 4th female in Empire Records. She wasn't. But
key grip.
Good character development, good show, good stories, good weekly monster, good skills. Like Patrick Jane as a mentalist, the idea is that he can hypnotise people fairly easily. He knows rhetoric very well, knows how to talk and persuade and argue, and is incredibly observant and is capable of making educated guesses very well. Which in the police business is kind of entertaining. He works totally differently to the way that all the police do. And so they're a foil for each other.
Yeah.
The police way of working is to work all the way through everything all the time and not make any leaps.
Yeah.
Whereas he just leaps straight to the end and then has to work back to help it
Prove
itself.
I have seen this. Now we have to work out how it happened.
Yeah. And he doesn't. He totally disavows himself as a psychic, and he's like, I'm not a psychic. I just know how to do all that stuff. Yeah, I just know how to do things. I see things that other people don't, and understand the reasons why people do things. Like, you know, people's motivations are like fear.
Is it the sort of cracker?
No. It's quite light-hearted, despite the fact that you're dealing with quite a lot of death. But the
that adjusted itself. Okay. Let's jump forward, but it's still in place, so interesting. It'll tell me if it's not in properly.
But some of there's about 7 seasons, and one of the main big protagonists in the show is it does have Malcolm McDowell in it.
Okay.
He's
old,
one of the big, old, clever, grizzled guy, and he runs a cult called the something to do with vision. Can't remember the name of it, but it's sort of based off of Scientology and that kind of ideal, and it's just really interesting to watch from a point of view of living in a world where that kind of thing exists anyway. How a TV show deals with that kind of thing without, I don't know, kind of without annoying anyone, or trying to not really annoy anyone, but use it as and comment upon it in a subtle way. And so we're enjoying that at the moment, and watching the way that someone like the guy that, you know, he's called Patrick Jane, is the mentalist, the way he deals with people that are essentially doing what he would do, but on a massive scale, like, you know, selling a story to people and making people believe in that story so that they give you their money.
Religion. Or some such.
Yeah. And but it's good. And Malcolm McDowell's an excellent.
He was so overlooked, wasn't he, in some ways as an actor? He never really made it big.
Yeah, but now he's got the right face and the right voice. I really enjoyed him in Franklin and Bash, where he runs a law firm. He's the crazy head of the law firm.
You know, I don't think I've seen Malcolm McDowell. Well, all I can think of is Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember anything else he's been in of any.
I don't know many films.
I love.
He was in Tank Girl. But that's years old. That's like 90s, and he plays the bad guy in that. He's pretty good at playing a bad guy.
With English.
Yeah. American TV.
There's nothing like an English bad guy.
Yeah.
Good exercise.
I could just bring the guitar case in. What would the fun be there?
Bit more bending. Can't commit to this yet.
I love how, I don't know, it's really weird the way it worked out that there was those shims underneath.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre, isn't it?
But it kind of confirms what I've always known about Ibanez's, which is they've never had a problem before with the that kind of first fret action that way. They've always been spot on, or you know, and that's what I really like. I had an RG 370 or something. I didn't keep it in the end. It wasn't quite right for me, but one of the first things that I loved was the fact that they obviously machined that perfectly.
Yeah.
And that it had come down to a low, and it was the kind of first fret action that I struggled
to set.
To set on everything. And it's like, well, if they can do it, why can't everyone else? But clearly they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Still getting about a tone out of it when you, or half tone out of it when you stretch them.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with balancing as well, though. It's a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
Chuck 'em on.
I think they go with a line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other way around.
Yeah. Front to back. Front to back. How do you think? It doesn't really matter, actually.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just put them on like that because then it looked like a bridge. Or it looked like a nut.
You're doing it's either which way. I think it's going to work. So. Holds the dang thing down.
Yeah, they're just little voices, aren't they?
Voices. No. Screech. Get in there. Something very satisfying about locking down the nut. Yes, we're done. Go out of tune now, you dog. I mean, the other nice thing about it, actually, when you do lock down the tuner, the stretch that's up there is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's just down to. That's why, and that's one of the reasons it's much more stable anyway. It's just dealing with this fixed length, which is great. Oh man! Lightning bolts, thunderbolts, and lightnings. Check that out.
I'm not even going to get the stool.
Very, very frightening.
What is that? Pick gun. Did I put it in my pocket? Have I stolen your pick? So, that'll do.
I'm going to plug it into a amplifier. I'm waiting for a neck now with the paddle shaped end to arrive, because I think that might be the neck for this last of my prototype Okies, and then after that I'm going to order more of those and just work with the paddle shaped neck so I can cut the exact headstock shape that I want each time. Missing a bolt. Yeah, the back's not on either, but what the hell. I want to fake nothing. Apart from that,
Make ghost noises.
Yeah, that's it. I'm worn out.
Yeah, sounds wicked.
Good, good.
Plays lovely.
Snap.
Bashing stuff.
Scrape. All that. Dead handy little lamp.
Yeah.
That. Okay. Put
Where
on
did
the
the cable come from?
Oh, it's sort of dangling something like that.
Magic it out from there.
Dangling. Right, we're all good. We're all good. Yeah, nice. I'm pleased with that. It was kind of convenient, that extra little bit of shimmering going on in there.
A whole load of actually having to do anything.
Shh. It sounded like hard work at the time.
Well, we found a superfluous shim and removed it from the state of play.
That's right. That's what many a good surgeon does. A superfluous organ, and I'm now going to remove it.
You don't need these kidneys.
Especially not when I can sell them on eBay.
I was going to say they're worth a bit on the open market.
So before we close up shop, I want to plug in the old pseudo Gibson.
Oh yeah.
And have a little listen and see. There we go, Captain. Actually, try change it over and let's find a strap I can attach this to. Ooh, yeah, I don't want to go knocking that off. Just, yeah. So, bets.
I don't know.
Oh, we still can't
yeah, yeah. Difficult to tell, depending on what it is you're looking for. And with a tiny little lamp, and I don't know. If we had the valve
You're kind of apologising already for it.
Well, yeah, guess I am. But it should just sound like a guitar.
Yeah, you would hope so.
It's kinda...
So remember what yours just sounded like?
Yeah. Yeah. Work?
Yeah, I think so. Sounds okay.
For each one independently, yeah.
It's a thin little lamp, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back to something clean.
On both? Or is it just the treble?
Well, let's try both. So that must be in the middle, must be two singles.
Yeah.
So you can't get one and one.
Yeah.
So you can't get a humbucker and a single. You're single only, two singles.
Yeah, yeah.
humbucker, single. Nothing there, understandably. Well, apart from being out of tune and stuff, but this is, by the way, this is one of the things I keep talking about on videos, is you wait and see, you get a guitar that somebody sends you from however long they've had it, and you can always, almost always, pull extra slack out of it.
Yeah.
Kent Armstrong in humbucking, single spanking mode. That's both in single.
It's got quite a nice bright tone to it, warm and bright at the same time.
Single, double. It's still not holding its tune.
Yeah.
We'll take care of that, but it's not bad.
Looking at the wines on wines.
Yeah, the Wilkinson Easy Lock with two posts 90 degrees to each other.
Yeah.
I tend not to use those, funny enough, even when they're fitted.
Yeah.
Scratching in the slot. Well, first impressions, I don't mind that. It's all right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That is a bridge sounding pickup. It may be upside down or back to front. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm not sure it's a neck pickup. It's hard to tell though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, have a look in the back and it's probably got N written on it.
Yeah,
for
and
neck.
then it's neck. But essentially, they just make it less powerful for the neck?
Depends.
The other way around.
Usually less.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we have a not bad sounding Les Paul copy with a bit of a high action and some there's some bend chokes. There, so things like that, a little bit of uneven frets somewhere. I don't have my tuner to hand unless the Let's see what the intonation is like on here. Tune R. Do a single coil because we can. Not bad. It's all on. That's good. Slightly sharp. I like it. Okay, well there we are. Quick view on it. I mean, so far, nothing totally out of the ordinary, really.
As a machine, it seems really
nice.
good.
It's nice. It's not bad. But again, you know, I don't think we're talking great chunks of money. We'll see what happens when I've done a fret level to it, because it's got a fair bit of wear and flattened off. Not a lot of wear. In fact, that's fret marking. I mean, the file marks on those frets, isn't it? Can you see?
Yeah, yeah. It's still,
Looks like
it's
somebody's
still
leveled,
coloured in.
somebody's levelled it already. Is it coloured in?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Or it's the bits that are below, or the shiny bits that are high and getting shined against the dull bits that aren't getting shined. But yeah, it looks like it's somebody's levelled the frets at some point. But it'd be worth.
And not re-rounded them.
Well, here's the proof of the pudding. Let's do the bit I always like to do. Let us take it down through the kind of action that I would prefer. 1.5 and a bit more. Okay. Unplayable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth plugging in just
Well, if you wanted to just play it quietly.
on the beach, underwater. No, but I mean that's a good, a good example of this is the guitar at the sort of playing action that you'd hope a Les Paul would play at. I'm not saying they all do, but.
Gorgeous.
Well, that's the job, to make it play beautifully. It's obviously a high fret somewhere in that region or two, but anyway, that's about 1 millimeter or 1.1 on the high E and 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 on the low E. So that's not a particularly adventurous action for me, but you can hear it's got some just proper choked off frets that just will not play. So that's why it's being set at a higher action.
Yeah.
So I want
Make
to
it play.
have a quick look down here. We've got a mixture of a bit of bend on that side and a bit flat on that side, which is quite often what happens, which is really weird. I never understood how that could be. But anyway, I'll come back to that. Up here. So that's about it.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice little run through. Will play beautifully. So Dave, your Les Paul copy will be playing delicious. And the Kent Armstrong thing sounds quite nice. Nothing other than the frets. Is a problem. Oh, I couldn't hear any crackling or any cutouts. I think the knob thing was just a falling off knob thing that you picked up straight away.
Yeah, they seem they're just loose.
Yeah, which what I'll do is I'll just expand the thing with a little shim, if you know what I mean. Just put in the split.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of
just
wedge
it out a little bit.
Yeah, and that should be.
Which is what it's for.
Yeah, sort it out. The other thing, whenever I use screw-in knobs, I always make sure the slot on the split shaft is always facing the screw. So it's so easy to just crump them together and squeeze them shut. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon or today. Mark's beautiful Sigma. Yeah, Sigma triple zero, acoustic, electroacoustic, and that beautiful Ibanez transformed without too much complicated stuff.
Just pretty simple,
straightforward, common sense stuff. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back soon with some more good stuff.
I keep buying guitars, you keep fixing them.
Laters.